back to that he thinks that they could get close to a deal because Iran needs to do that right now because they're under so much pressure because of these U.S. military strikes and the Israeli strikes, too, of course.
Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were back in court in New York City today, at which the judge refused to dismiss their case. Maduro's facing drug trafficking charges. Outside court, ABC's Rena Roy.
Defense attorneys, we know, they have been arguing that the U.S. is blocking Venezuela from paying their legal fees. But prosecutors have argued that Flores and Maduro still have access to their own money. Maduro, despite having lived a very lavish lifestyle for many years, is claiming that he cannot afford to pay those fees.
Democrats have been given Republicans' last and final offer to reopen the Department of Homeland Security and end the 41-day government shutdown, says Senate Majority Leader John Thune. No details released. The International Olympic Committee has banned trans women from women's Olympic events. Wall Street bonuses soared 6% last year, says the New York State Comptroller. ABC's Michelle Franzen.
The average bonus reached $246,900 last year. It all adds up to a record $49.2 billion in 2025. Wall Street is the main economic driver for New York City and also a critical tax revenue base for the city and state. The strong performance on Wall Street, analysts say, partly driven by economic uncertainty due to President Trump's tariffs and conflicts overseas.
ABC's Michelle Franzen. You're listening to ABC News.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
A man who fled to China and his sister have been charged after a bomb was left outside a gate at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida this month. Ann Zeng, 27 years old, is in custody, while Alan Zeng, 20, fled, says FBI Director Kash Patel in a social media post. Ukrainian President Zelensky has arrived in Saudi Arabia on an unannounced visit, days after revealing that Ukraine is helping 5 countries in the Middle East and Gulf region counter drone attacks on their territory during the Iran war. Some new soldiers might be gray around the temples.
Sign my name on the dotted line. Sign my name on the dotted line.
The U.S. Army has struggled for years to meet its recruitment goals, although it actually beat its target of 61,000 in 2025. In an attempt to bring the Army in line with most of the other military branches, the Pentagon is boosting the age at which someone can sign up from 35 to 42, virtually guaranteeing that more soldiers will be serving with their parents or their children. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Dash Crofts of the soft rock duo Seals and Crofts has died. He was 85. He scored a string of top 10 hits in the 70s, including Diamond Girl, Get Closer, and Summer Breeze. March 26th, the symbolic date marking how far into the new year women need to work to make what a man made last year. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is the News Radio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ort live from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, March 26th. The race to replace longtime 24th District lawmaker Steve Theringer is starting to take shape now. Candidates now stepping forward from both sides of the aisle. Patrick DePoe, a Neah Bay resident and Makah tribal member this week, says he's running for the seat. DePoe currently serves as executive director of the Association of Washington Tribes, previously mounted a statewide campaign for lands commissioner in 2024. He says his decision comes from a deep connection to the district and an understanding of its challenges.
First of all, it's where I'm from, right? I'm from Neah Bay. I've been there my entire life. You know, I've left for college. Always came back to Neah Bay. I worked in Seattle area at the University of Washington Medical Center, but always was back in Neah Bay or on the peninsula in one way or another. And I understand the needs of our district. I understand the issues that our district deals with on a day-to-day basis.
DePauw's background includes work with tribal governments and natural resource policy. He says that's helped shape his priorities on rural infrastructure, healthcare access, and economic opportunities across the North Olympic Peninsula. He joins Port Angeles resident Aiden Hamilton and Sequim resident Kayleigh Kuhn, who have all announced they're also running for the seat. Filing for elective offices is in May. Meantime, Clallam County Prosecuting Attorney Mark Nichols has formally announced he's running for a fourth term. Nichols, in a press release, said his key priorities for the next term start with public safety as his number one concern. Nichols emphasized a continued focus on prosecuting violent offenders, especially those who target vulnerable members of the community. He also pledged to use all legal means to address the impacts of repeat offenders and those involved in drug-related crimes. Other priorities listed were advocacy for victims of crimes, especially survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. The press release went on to say that he's stressing his intention to continue collaboration with law enforcement, maintaining transparency and public trust, and underscoring his commitment to nonpartisan leadership focused on ethics, the law, and service to communities across the entire North Olympic Peninsula. 56-year-old Jared Aguirre of Port Angeles sentenced to 20 months in prison for a domestic violence assault charge. The sentence followed a guilty verdict after a 2-day jury trial. The case stemmed from an incident last October when a man driving near the Clallam County Fairgrounds saw a man on top of a woman and punching down on her. The driver pulled over. The man walked away. After a 911 call, Port Angeles police were able to locate Aguirre, who has numerous domestic violence convictions from both Washington and Alaska going back to the early 1990s. Prosecutors praised the bravery exhibited by the survivor in the case, taking the stand and supporting the prosecution. More news after this.
Looking for affordable home ownership on the peninsula? Mountain View Homes has you covered. Enjoy high-quality craftsmanship at 40% less than traditional homes. You heard me, 40% less. We offer full-service land packages from dirt to turnkey, delivering beautiful, efficient manufactured homes on your chosen site. With 3 convenient locations, including Carlsberg, we're here to serve you. Visit mtviewhomes.com today to learn more. Mountain View Homes, where affordability meets quality.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, we'll look back on a long career in a conversation with Peninsula College Athletic Director Rick Ross, who's retiring, plus a business bit with our business guru, Kevin Holt.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Have you downloaded the new Radio Pacific app yet? It's the easiest way to carry our entire radio family with you. KONP News Radio, Straight 102 and Z104.9 all in one place and all in your pocket on your phone. Stream your favorite station wherever you go. Wake up with our built-in alarm clock. Get the latest local and national news. Enter contests. Even send us photos or request songs right from your phone. 3 stations, 1 local radio family, 1 free app. Just search Radio Pacific in your app store and download it today.
In other news, Clallam County moving ahead on a long-term roadmap for its park system, with early public feedback pointing to strong demand for more trails, better maintenance, and improved access altogether. Steve Dew is with the county's consultant, Conservation Techniques. He updated county commissioners this week on the park's comprehensive master plan he's working on. That's a 10-year strategy to guide investment in parks, recreation, and open space. Adu says the plan is designed to shape everything from day-to-day maintenance to future funding.
The Parks Comprehensive Plan will serve as the county's 10-year guide for all things parks and open space. So regarding the management and enhancement of recreation facilities, parks, open spaces, for the benefit of the Clallam County community as well as visitors who are coming in from outside.
And now the plan's already about halfway through a roughly 14-month timeline, with community outreach playing a big role so far. And according to survey results, with more than 2,000 responses, the most popular park use is pedestrian trails, followed by waterfront access and boat ramps, while some of the biggest complaints are on restroom cleanliness, lack of parking, and the trail conditions. Adu says the public input is helping shape priorities as they move forward.
The plan will guide future investments to improve the park system, and it will also serve as a tool to help pursue state and or federal grants, as well as enrich your partnerships across the county to enable projects to happen.
Now, key themes emerging from the data include a push to expand trail connections, especially the gaps that are in the Olympic Discovery Trail, also improving existing facilities and trying to protect more natural areas. This draft plan also outlines some broader goals, including expanding access, improving overall maintenance, and strengthening partnerships to fund future projects in the parks. Commissioners are expected to review a full draft later this year. Final adoption of the new master plan is set for after more additional public input comes in. A new Washington law aims to better protect referees and sports officials from harassment and violence. Governor Bob Ferguson signing the measure this week that adds sports officials to an existing law that prohibits threats or physical interference with school personnel. Violations would be classified a gross misdemeanor that carries penalties of up to a $500 fine and 6 months in jail. The law follows decades of advocacy by Bob West, who was seriously injured in an assault at a high school wrestling match in Stevens County some 30 years ago. West said his goal was to ensure accountability and improve safety for officials. Under the law, students who threaten referees could face school discipline and be barred from activities, and adults could be banned from school events for a year and a half. Lawmakers approved the measure with near unanimous support. Supporters say it sends a clear message about sportsmanship and could help address a nationwide shortage of officials right now. A federal investigation is underway into Washington State's program that offers no-interest home loans to residents affected by past housing discrimination. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced it's reviewing the Covenant Home Ownership Program, which provides down payment assistance of up to 20% of a home's cost, capped at $150,000. The program aimed at first-time buyers who are descendants of people impacted by discriminatory housing practices that happened before 1968. Federal officials say they're now examining, though, whether the program complies with the Fair Housing Act, which prohibits discrimination based on race or other factors. HUD Secretary Scott Turner said the agency is concerned that this program in Washington may unlawfully favor certain racial groups. And a group led by Seattle Kraken owner Samantha Holloway is preparing the bid to bring an NBA team back to Seattle. The move comes after the NBA's Board of Governors yesterday voted to explore expansion to Seattle as well as Las Vegas. Kraken CEO Todd Lewicki said the organization's been working toward this opportunity for years and believes it is well positioned to secure a franchise. The group recently strengthened its bid by acquiring majority control of Climate Pledge Arena, giving it a key advantage in providing a ready venue for a team. Additional steps include building out NBA locker rooms and securing a practice facility that would still be required. If approved, expansion teams could begin play as early as the 2028-29 season. This is News Radio KONP.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan and Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Olympic Game Farm is the place for you. Better than the circus or a day at the zoo. There's llamas and there's lions and a race for you. Olympic Game Farm is the place for you. Say hello to a buffalo, stick out his tongue. This place is just amazing for the old and the young. These zebras or a tiger might catch your eye. They've even got a bear who'll wave goodbye. It's so much fun, so bring your dad and your mom. Look us up at onlygamefarm.com.
In 1983, Tom and Ida McEwen opened All Weather Heating and Cooling. Their vision for a family-owned and operated business with personalized customer service made them the #1 choice for your heating and cooling needs. In 2014, their daughter Janae and her business partner Dustin Halverson purchased All Weather. In preserving Tom and Ida's vision, customer service is still top priority and your only local authorized Carrier dealer. All Weather Heating and Cooling, because everyone calls us.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Slight chance of rain this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Daytime highs approaching 48. Northeasterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 35. Daytime highs approaching 50 tomorrow. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Upper 40s Saturday and Sunday, with a chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain Sunday. Take a look at the extended forecast. 47 Monday, 48 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 48.
Opening day has arrived. Good morning. I'm Jay Reynolds. Baseball season hits full swing today after last night's opener in San Francisco. Yankees, a 7-0 shutout of the Giants. They get the win despite Aaron Judge going 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Max Fried tosses 2-hit ball over 6 1/3. New York wins its opener, and probably not the last win they'll have.
The Yankees think they're going to win the American League this year, and I understand their fans look at it like, hey, you're just running the team back right now. Well, they're running back a 94-win team.
And they have won this year. ESPN's Jeff Passan. 11 more games today as the season goes into high gear. NBA, Oklahoma City has its 12-game win streak snapped with a 10-point loss in Boston last night. Lakers get 43 from Luka Doncic. They get past Indy 137-130. Spurs 123-98 over the Grizzlies. San Antonio has won 23 of the last 25. Wolves rally past Houston in overtime 110-108. Minnesota with a 15-0 run to end the game. Nuggets get another triple-double from Nikola Jokic, nearly a 2020 night. Denver also had Jamal Murray.
Top of the key is Murray. Murray has it at the point. He goes to the right hand, takes a jumper. Yeah! 52 for Jamal Murray.
Altitude Radio Network, 53 for Jamal Murray. Denver beats the Mavs 142-135. Clippers by 25 over Toronto. Nets fall to the Warriors. Brooklyn's lost its last 9. Washington snaps a 16-game losing streak, 23-point win over the Jazz. Good news, bad news for the Bulls. Chicago scores 137 against Philly, but the bad news, they lose by 20, 157-137. Joel Embiid, Paul George both return. They combine for 63 points. Sweet 16 getting underway today. 4 games, action in the South and West regions, including Arizona, Arkansas. Arizona coach Tommy Lloyd was asked about the North Carolina job. Says he already has one of the best jobs in the country.
In local sports and baseball action, the Squim Wolves jumped out to an 8-0 lead after 5 innings against North Mason, then had to hold on to win it 8-7. Pitcher Zeke Schmedeke earned the win, going 6 1/3 innings, allowing 4 hits and 4 runs while striking out 10. Devin Derringer came on in relief in the 7th and got the final 2 outs to seal it. At the plate, left fielder Logan Doyle had the hot bat with 2 hits, including a double, driving in 3 runs, scoring once, and drew a walk. Shortstop Devin Derringer added another hit, an RBI, a walk, and scored a run. Third baseman Van Johnson had a hit, drove in a run, and scored. Center fielder Hunter Tennell doubled, walked, drove in a run, and scored twice. Schmedeke also helped his own cause with a hit and a run scored. Today, Squim at 2-0 in league play travels to North Mason, while Port Angeles will head to Bainbridge. Both the games start at 4:15. There's also a big track meet at Kingston today, with Port Angeles and Squim joining a total of 5 Olympic League teams. Start time is 3 o'clock. And in high school tennis, Port Angeles hosts North Kitsap and Squim hosts Olympic. Both matches begin at 4. And here on the radio, it's a big night. It is opening night for the Seattle Mariners. They'll take on Cleveland. We take the air at 6 o'clock. Mariner Baseball, brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales in Squim.
One sip of tropical lime-flavored Mountain Dew Baja Blast will turn this into this. Your barbecue into a cabana. And your backyard into an island oasis. With a blast of tropical lime flavor, you can bring the beach vibes with you everywhere. Grab some friends and ice-cold Mountain Dew Baja Blast today. Do the Dew.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna, then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stocks are under pressure as rising crude oil prices trigger a fresh round of inflation concerns. Another report, meantime, showing rising mortgage rates. Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage has now jumped to 6.38%. Have you rented a car lately and wound up standing in a long line or maybe had trouble even getting a car? Shares of car rental companies are revving higher today. That's as more people drive instead of fly because of all the TSA problems. Hertz is advertising deals on one-way rentals. Apple plans to open Siri to outside artificial intelligence assistants. That's as it tries to make iPhones into AI platforms. Siri can already tap into ChatGPT through a partnership with OpenAI, but Apple will now allow competing services to do the same. And Charles Schwab is offering brokerage accounts to introduce teens to investing and personal finance. Joint accounts for parents and kids aged 13 to 17 give teens the ability to trade certain securities. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
The premium compact powerhouse is here. The new MT225S from LS Tractor. 25 horsepower, 2-pedal hydrostatic transmission, and a highly featured operator platform. Now available with dealer-installed cab. All backed by the legendary LS Tractor warranty. Demo the new MT225S at your local dealer today.
Find the perfect LS tractor for you at Leitz Farm Supply in Squim. Locally owned and operated, call Leitz at 360-452-1400.
LS Tractor, simply more.
In an emergency, every second counts. At Olympic Medical Center, we're committed to providing high-quality emergency care when you need it most, and important information to prepare you before you do. Visit our website to learn how our triage system works and how you can be better prepared for an ER visit. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your health. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/emergency care.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Right up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go, and that is where Steve's standing by. He's watching the roads for us this noon hour. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, well, busy afternoon. It's been busy pretty much all day with traffic making its way to the Port Angeles and Swim area. Just a lot of people out and about right now. Downtown Port Angeles, pretty steady traffic. Really moving along the speed limit, just some delays at the stoplights. Same thing in Squim along Washington Street and Squim Avenue, just barely busy out there right now. If you're on the highway between the two cities, traffic is moving along pretty smoothly. A lot of it trying to make its way through our construction area, out through the Morris Creek area. Kind of smooths out after that, but pretty much the speed limit all the way. If you're headed beyond that, Hood Canal Bridge is now good to go with nothing scheduled this afternoon, but that morning 10:30 closure for the maintenance thing really had traffic backed up on 104 for a couple of miles in each direction. So that is just starting to clear out, so expect some delays that'll last for a little while headed through there. If you're headed out to the west end, we're looking good all the way out to the Forks area. No real issues out there. Traffic is moving right along at the speed limit. So everybody take care. Enjoy your afternoon. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Your weather forecast calling for things to stay pretty much sunny the rest of the day today. Your highs in the mid-40s to about 50, clouding up a little bit more tonight. Lows in the low to mid-30s. Tomorrow's going to be partly sunny. And you should hit about 50 by the afternoon tomorrow. Right now across the North Peninsula, Port Townsend, 44. Out west at Forks, 47. It's 50 in Squim, and it's 46 degrees now out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Well, the Rocky statue that was sitting at the base of the Philadelphia Museum of Arts has now been moved indoors to take part in a new exhibit. Another statue will take its place outside, one of legendary boxer Joe Frazier. ABC's Brianna Gallagher has more.
I wanted to honor him to say, we still salute you. You still are a champion to us, but two things can be true. Joe Frazier is also our real-life champion here in Philadelphia.
Samantha Fitzhugh-Harrison came down for one last look at what will now be Rocky's former home. The relocation comes as he's moving inside for an exhibit, once that exhibit wraps up in August. The Rocky statue at the top of the steps, which is currently on loan to the city of Philadelphia by Sylvester Stallone himself, will be returned to him and replaced with the original Rocky.
From ABC News Tech Trends, a jury in California has found Meta and Google negligent for designing apps that harm young people. The plaintiff, Kaylee, had alleged features like beauty filters on Instagram resulted in negative health outcomes like body dysmorphia. She's being awarded $3 million in compensatory damages. The companies could also be on the hook for additional punitive damages. YouTube says it will appeal the decision, and Meta says it's evaluating its legal options. Bernarda Villalona is an ABC News legal contributor.
Very clear that Meta is going to appeal this. So we may see that this verdict is going to be tied up in the appellate system for a long time, for many years. And we know that Meta has the money in order to drag this out.
It's also the first in a series of similar social media cases coming down the pike.
People and attorneys were waiting to see what would happen in this case to determine how far they will move forward on other cases.
With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
For as long as I can remember in my studying and practice of medicine, the focus has really been on extending people's lifespans. Recently, at least in the scheme of things, the conversation has shifted to what is known as health span, the part of a person's life during which they are generally in good health. A new study out of Australia found that combining small changes in diet, exercise, and sleep can improve both your health span and your lifespan. The researchers said even the smallest bits of effort paid off, but the greatest gains were seen in people who slept 7 to 9 hours a night, got at least a half an hour of exercise every day, and ate extremely healthy diets. But don't get too caught up on the specifics. As one expert told us, it's really about this, making sure all the things you do in your life are synonymous with good health. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
African Americans are the most likely to die from colorectal cancer. So please, get screened starting at age 45. Now, Medicare and insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but also less invasive exams like virtual colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtual CT.
Furnished by the American College of Radiology and the Radiology Health Equity Coalition.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. Who makes us free? Is it our military, our Congress, our Constitution? Not really sure? Our founding fathers were sure. I'll tell you that story after this important message.
If you've been hearing my radio programs now for the last 20 years, you know that I've been telling the true stories of those who have followed God's ways to make America the greatest nation in the world. So what's the latest? Well, we're now doing this nation-saving work full-time, and we need your help by becoming one of our ambassadors, subscribing to All We Have for just $5.95 per month. To get what? Number one, full access to our amazing website that is full of over 100 true stories to teach us with these stories how America is to act and operate. We also have lessons for all ages to teach us what we must do now. And our children, they will be our nation's leaders very soon. I will have live presentations online for you to hear, maybe even to participate. And when must this all get started? Now. Call our offices today at 817-995-6965 or go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and email our office. God bless you.
We all know what freedom is, being free. But who has given us our freedom? Do you wonder? Christopher Columbus knew. Over 500 years ago, he said, "It is my hope that by God's assistance, some of the continents in the ocean will be discovered for the glory of God." He knew that God was leading him. It was Thomas Jefferson who said, "The God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time." Isn't it both strange and sad that those who had the most to risk, the most to lose, relied most on God? And today, who are we relying on? Think about it. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Welcome to Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored by Jim Hagwood at PA Realty. This is Alan Barnard, and this Volunteer Spotlight shines on Captain Joseph House. This former landmark 3-story home was converted to a retreat for Gold Star families who have lost a military family member to combat while serving our country. Captain Joseph House provides a safe and peaceful environment for the Gold Star families on their journey from grieving victim to empowered survivor, from familiar military community to civilian life. Founded by Betsy Schultz in memory of her only child, Captain Joseph Schultz, who was killed in action in Afghanistan, Betsy honors our fallen heroes by providing this house where friendships can take root and families can draw strength from each other. Staffed solely by volunteers, more are always welcome. Their website is Captain Joseph House at cjhf.org.
Fair weather turns our thoughts to outdoor projects. Hi, this is Clallam PUD, and we want you to be safe so you can enjoy the results of your hard work. It's easy. Call 811 2 business days before any work involving digging so underground utilities can be properly located and marked. Visit clallampud.net for more safety tips about outdoor projects and more. Clallam County PUD, bringing energy to life.
What's the misconception when considering new cabinets for your home?
I think a lot of people are under the impression that if they go to the box stores, they're going to pay a lot less for their cabinets.
That's Tony from Tim's Cabinets.
Going custom cabinets, you're usually paying about the same or less.
Tim's Custom Cabinets in Sequim. 40-plus years experience ensures your cabinet project will be done right.
Let me help make the process comfortable. And at the end, you're going to be extremely happy with what we've done for you.
Tim's Custom Cabinets, Sequim.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump, speaking at a cabinet meeting today, told reporters he wanted to set the record straight, that he's not the one pushing for a deal with Iran to end the war. He says that country needs a deal badly, and they know it. Envoy Steve Witkoff says Iran should seize the opportunity.
We will see where things lead, and if we can convince Iran that this is the inflection point with no good alternatives for them, other than more death and destruction. We have strong signs that this is a possibility.
Iran continues to deny it's negotiating with the U.S. New U.S. Census Bureau population estimates show that U.S. growth in metro areas has slowed sharply along with illegal immigration.
The Bureau reports that the average metro growth rate fell from 1.1% in 2024 to 0.6% in 2025. The data covers a one-year period ending in July 2025. Metro areas along the U.S.-Mexico border saw the steepest declines as the number of immigrants fell. Big immigration hubs also saw significant drops. Miami-Dade County, Harris County in Texas, and Los Angeles County all took in far fewer immigrants last year. John Scott reporting.
A lawmaker is asking a federal judge to block President Trump's name from being added to the Kennedy Center. Here's White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Ohio Democrat Joyce Beatty filed a motion to block and reverse efforts to add Donald Trump's name to the historic Performing Arts Center here in the nation's capital. She argued that Congress was clear in its intent that the center is named for the late President John F. Kennedy and no one else. In December, the president's hand-picked board of directors voted to rename the venue as the Trump Kennedy Center. Greg Clugston, Washington.
An hour from the close on Wall Street, and the Dow is down 387 points. More from townhall.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline, 800-305-6762. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-305-6762 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. That's 800-305-6762 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-305-6762.
Immigrants in detention can continue to be held without bond. Here's correspondent Donna Warder.
An appeals court says the U.S. can continue to hold immigrants in detention without bond. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals in St. Louis overturned a lower court ruling that required that a Mexican citizen be given a bond hearing before an immigration judge. Last month, another appeals court ruled in favor of the Trump administration, saying that denying bond hearings to immigrants arrested across the country is consistent with the Constitution and federal immigration law. I'm Donna Warder.
Artificial intelligence chatbots are so prone to flattering and validating their human users, they are apparently giving bad advice that can damage relationships and reinforce harmful behaviors. That's according to a new study that explores the dangers of AI telling people what they want to hear. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
This is the News Radio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ort live in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, March 26th. The race to replace longtime 24th District lawmaker Steve Theringer is starting to take shape now. Candidates now stepping forward from both sides of the aisle. Patrick DePoe, a Nia Bay resident and Makah tribal member this week, says he's running for the seat. DePoe currently serves as executive director of the Association of Washington Tribes, previously mounted a statewide campaign for lands commissioner in 2024. He says his decision comes from a deep connection to the district and an understanding of its challenges.
First of all, it's where I'm from, right? I'm from Nia Bay. I've been there my entire life. You know, I've left for college, always came back to Nia Bay. I worked in the Seattle area at the University of Washington Medical Center, but always was back in Nia Bay or on the peninsula in one way or another. And I understand the needs of our district. I understand the issues that our district deals with on a day-to-day basis.
DePoe's background includes work with tribal governments and natural resource policy. He says that's helped shape his priorities on rural infrastructure, healthcare access, and economic opportunities across the North Olympic Peninsula. He joins Port Angeles resident Aiden Hamilton and Sequim resident Kaylee Kuhn, who have all announced they're also running for the seat. Filing for elective offices is in May. Meantime, Clallam County Prosecuting Attorney Mark Nichols has formally announced he's running for a fourth term. Nichols, in a press release, said his key priorities for the next term start with public safety as his number one concern. Nichols emphasized a continued focus on prosecuting violent offenders, especially those who target vulnerable members of the community. He also pledged to use all legal means to address the impacts of repeat offenders and those involved in drug-related crimes. Other priorities listed were advocacy for victims of crimes, especially survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. The press release went on to say that he's stressing his intention to continue collaboration with law enforcement, maintaining transparency and public trust, and underscoring his commitment to nonpartisan leadership focused on ethics, the law, and service to communities across the entire North Olympic Peninsula. 56-year-old Jared Aguirre of Port Angeles sentenced to 20 months in prison for a domestic violence assault charge. The sentence followed a guilty verdict after a 2-day jury trial. The case stemmed from an incident last October when a man driving near the Clallam County Fairgrounds saw a man on top of a woman and punching down on her. The driver pulled over. The man walked away. After a 911 call, Port Angeles police were able to locate Aguirre, who has numerous domestic violence convictions from both Washington and Alaska going back to the early 1990s. Prosecutors praised the bravery exhibited by the survivor in the case, taking the stand and supporting the prosecution. More news after this.
Hi, kids. Your old pal, the Easter Bunny, here to tell you about KONP's 48th annual Easter egg hunt, happening Saturday, April 4th at the Clallam County Fairgrounds. Any bunny 8 years and younger can hunt for eggs, but for a chance to win some excellent prizes, you'll need to register. Registration slips for each child must be picked up before the hunt at these locations.
In Port Angeles at Jim's Pharmacy, Straight
View Credit Union and Angelus Rentals. In Squim at the Co-op Farm and Garden and Carlsberg Shell.
The 48th annual KONP Easter egg hunt is presented by Peninsula Bottling, Co-op Farm and Garden, Olympic Peninsula Title, and the Olympic Game Farm. Registration starts at 8:15 and the hunt starts at 9 a.m. sharp. See you at the hunt Saturday, April 4th at the Clallam County Fairgrounds.
Are you thinking about a new roof, siding, or windows for your home? Give Tri-State a call. Tri-State installs GAF roofing products, James Hardy siding, and Pella replacement windows. And right now, Tri-State is offering huge savings. The first step is a free estimate. Call 360-208-2222 or visit tristate.pro.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
In other news, Clallam County moving ahead on a long-term roadmap for its park system, with early public feedback pointing to strong demand for more trails, better maintenance, and improved access altogether. Steve Dew is with the county's consultant, Conservation Techniques. He updated county commissioners this week on the park's comprehensive master plan he's working on. That's a 10-year strategy to guide investment in parks, recreation, and open space. Dew says the plan is designed to shape everything from day-to-day maintenance to future funding.
The Parks Comprehensive Plan will serve as the county's 10-year guide for all things parks and open space. So regarding the management and enhancement of recreation facilities, parks, open spaces, for the benefit of the Clallam County community as well as visitors who are coming in from outside.
And now the plan's already about halfway through a roughly 14-month timeline, with community outreach playing a big role so far. And according to survey results, with more than 2,000 responses, the most popular park use is pedestrian trails, followed by waterfront access and boat ramps, while some of the biggest complaints are on restroom cleanliness, lack of parking, and the trail conditions. Dew says the public input is helping shape priorities as they move forward.
The plan will guide future investments to improve the park system, and it will also serve as a tool to help pursue state and or federal grants, as well as enrich your partnerships across the county to enable projects to happen.
Now, key themes emerging from the data include a push to expand trail connections, especially the gaps that are in the Olympic Discovery Trail, also improving existing facilities and trying to protect more natural areas. This draft plan also outlines some broader goals, including expanding access, improving overall maintenance, and strengthening partnerships to fund future projects in the parks. Commissioners are expected to review a full draft later this year. Final adoption of the new master plan is set for after more additional public input comes in. A new Washington law aims to better protect referees and sports officials from harassment and violence. Governor Bob Ferguson signing the measure this week that adds sports officials to an existing law that prohibits threats or physical interference with school personnel. Violations would be classified a gross misdemeanor that carries penalties of up to a $500 fine and 6 months in jail. The law follows decades of advocacy by Bob West, who was seriously injured in an assault at a high school wrestling match in Stevens County some 30 years ago. West said his goal was to ensure accountability and improve safety for officials. Under the law, students who threaten referees could face school discipline and be barred from activities, and adults could be banned from school events for a year and a half. Lawmakers approved the measure with near unanimous support. Supporters say it sends a clear message about sportsmanship and could help address a nationwide shortage of officials right now. A federal investigation is underway into Washington State's program that offers no-interest home loans to residents affected by past housing discrimination. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced it's reviewing the Covenant Home Ownership Program, which provides down payment assistance of up to 20% of a home's cost, capped at $150,000. The program aimed at first-time buyers who are descendants of people impacted by discriminatory housing practices that happened before 1968. Federal officials say they're now examining, though, whether the program complies with the Fair Housing Act, which prohibits discrimination based on race or other factors. HUD Secretary Scott Turner said the agency is concerned that this program in Washington may unlawfully favor certain racial groups. And a group led by Seattle Kraken owner Samantha Holloway is preparing the bid to bring an NBA team back to Seattle. The move comes after the NBA's Board of Governors yesterday voted to explore expansion to Seattle as well as Las Vegas. Kraken CEO Todd Lewicki said the organization's been working toward this opportunity for years and believes it is well positioned to secure a franchise. The group recently strengthened its bid by acquiring majority control of Climate Pledge Arena, giving it a key advantage in providing a ready venue for a team. Additional steps include building out NBA locker rooms and securing a practice facility that would still be required. If approved, expansion teams could begin play as early as the 2028-29 season. This is News Radio KONP.
Hi, this is Andy McGill, Executive Director at Dungeness Court. Have you wondered where I've been the last couple years? Well, I'm happy to say I've found a wonderful family right here at Dungeness Court, pursuing my passion for assisted living and memory care. If you haven't visited Dungeness Court in a while, we are having an open house Friday, March 27th. It's the perfect time to see our fresh new look, enjoy refreshments, have a free tour, and win one of our great door prizes. This is our personal invite to join us and meet our team. We are the only locally owned assisted living in the area with nurses on site 24/7, plus day stay, respite care solutions, and personalized memory care. We'd love to see you at our open house Friday, March 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. Dungeness Court. We're located on the corner of 5th Avenue and Hendrickson in Sequim.
Join Dungeness Court for an open house celebration Friday, March 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. just off Hendrickson Road in Sequim. Dungeness Court Memory Care. Loving care when you need it most.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Slight chance of rain this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Daytime highs approaching 48. Northeasterly winds around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 35. Daytime highs approaching 50 tomorrow. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Upper 40s Saturday and Sunday with a chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain Sunday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 47 Monday, 48 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 48.
Robert Workman's take on sports is next.
The 2026 baseball season is underway. Opening night last night, the Yankees blanked the Giants 7-0. Max Fried and 3 relievers held San Francisco to just 3 hits, while New York scored 5 times in the second inning off Logan Webb. Manager Aaron Boone.
Obviously, Logan Webb's one of the best, and to put up a 5 spot there in the second with just a lot of really good at-bats.
Ryan McMahon had a 2-run single. Trent Grisham followed with a 2-run triple. 11 games today, starting with the Pirates and Paul Skeens at the Mets, and wrapping up in Seattle when the Guardians meet the Mariners. 8 more games on Friday. Saturday is actually the first day when all 30 teams will be in action. NBA, the Celtics rally past the Thunder 119-109. That ends OKC's 12-game win streak, 31 for Jaylen Brown. Wizards snapped a 16-game losing streak, beating the Jazz 133-110. Spurs swamped the Grizzlies 123-98. That's their 7th straight win. Hawks tripped the Pistons 130-129 in overtime. Timberwolves fell 13 points behind the Rockets in OT, then went on a 15-0 run and won the game 110-108. Nuggets got 53 from Jamal Murray. They rocked the Mavericks. Nikola Jokic with a triple-double, including a season-high 19 assists. Lakers over the Pacers, 43 for the association's top scorer, Luka Doncic. NCAA Sweet 16 games tonight, the West in San Jose, the South region in Houston. Friday, we get the Midwest Regional in Chicago and the East Regional in Washington, D.C. NIT quarters last night, wins for Illinois State and Auburn. So next week's semifinals in Indianapolis will have 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds for the NIT. Tulsa meets New Mexico in the first game, then Auburn versus 4-seed Illinois State. That's Thursday Sports.
Meet Dennis. He and his wife call Lavender Meadows in Sequim home.
They have a lot of modular home communities here, but Lavender Meadows stands way above the others. It's beautiful. There's a lot to do here. We have a beautiful clubhouse. We have bocce ball courts. We have a pickleball court. We have so many friends. It's like one big family here now.
Come tour Lavender Meadows in Sequim or go to lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Here on the Olympic Peninsula, we live outdoors. Dress like it with help from Brown's Outdoor. Hi, this is Hannah from Brown's Outdoor. We've been outfitting your family for over 103 years in downtown Port Angeles. You'll find hiking gear, accessories, and outdoor lifestyle apparel from top brands like The North Face, Marmot, Mountain Hardwear, and Patagonia. Plus, the latest from Purnell and Caton. Need a new Hydro Flask? Brown's has over 20 colors to choose from. Start your adventure at Brown's Outdoor downtown. Family owned and operated for forever.
You have a neighborhood auto parts store in Sequim ready to help, such as when you're getting your trailer set up for the season. Rely on A1 Auto Parts and Marine to keep your outdoor adventure on the road. Trailer brakes, axles, bearings, even a hydraulic hose fix. A1 Auto will custom make hydraulic hose while you wait. Find the experts at A1 Auto Parts and Marine, downtown Sequim.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Worries about the war in the Middle East, along with worries about rising crude oil and inflation triggering a sell-off on Wall Street today. New sign of inflation this hour, Netflix, announcing it's raising prices by $1 or $2 a month, meaning the standard streaming subscription goes up to $8.99 a month. Standard plan without ads jumps to $19.99. The premium plan that you can use on 4 devices, well, that goes to $26.99 a month. New report, meantime, shows rising mortgage rates. Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage has jumped to 6.38%. Have you rented a car lately and wound up standing in a long line or maybe had trouble getting one? Shares of car rental companies revving higher as more people drive now instead of flying because of all the TSA problems. And Apple plans to open Siri to outside artificial intelligence assistants. Siri could already tap into ChatGPT, but Apple will now allow competing services to do the same. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
The last check of the noontime traffic next.
Jump into spring and onto your new sleeper sofa by American Leather. At Angela's Furniture, you'll find savings you can't beat at the Sleeper Sofa Sale. It's springtime, but you won't feel any springs in your sleeper sofa. Save 10% off all American Leather sleeper sofas and get 0% financing OAC. Savings are blooming because spring is here. Stop by Angela's Furniture today, 1114 East 1st Street.
At McCrory Carpet One, they know how important it is to feel confident in your flooring selection. You want to know it's going to look exactly the way you want it once it's installed in your home. That's why they offer their one-of-a-kind guarantee, making sure you're 100% happy that the floor you've created together is as beautiful as the one in your dreams. If not, they'll replace it for free. That's what they call the beautiful guarantee. Peace of mind is yours with every installation. Always priced right, always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
News Radio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go one last time. Steve standing by with a look at the noontime traffic for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of a busy day out there. Excuse me, if you're out and about in the Port Angeles or Forks area. Yeah, a lot of cars. Things moving along pretty well, though. A little slowdowns through the downtown area. But other than that, really not much of a problem. Things looking pretty good. 101 between Port Angeles and Sequim. We're pretty much the speed limit all the way, just a little bit on the busy side there, especially through our construction area. If you're headed out any further, our Hood Canal Bridge, good to go now. The earlier maintenance opening really backed up traffic out there, but it is starting to thin out now. Shouldn't be much of a problem, but it was really backed up this morning. State ferries, though, running on time today. If you're headed out to the west end, we're looking good on 101 all the way out to the Forks area. Should be an absolutely beautiful drive for you. Forks is looking nice, and the lake is gorgeous. So everybody take care. Be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, we're going to see sunshine to continue pretty much the rest of the day. We'll see a few clouds roll in by late. Highs at about 50 today. Tonight, mostly cloudy early, then partly cloudy overnight. Low to mid-30s for your lows overnight. Partly sunny tomorrow with your highs reaching about 50 degrees. Right now across the North Peninsula, Port Townsend now checking in at 44, out west Forks 47, it's 51 in Sequim, and it's 48 degrees out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Well, Rose Byrne stars in Tow. It follows the true story of Amanda Ogle, an unhoused woman living in her car on the streets of Seattle. After her Toyota Camry is stolen and then impounded, She fights a relentless legal battle to reclaim her car and, in turn, her life. Byrne talked with ABC's Audio about that.
She's extraordinary. I mean, she's had many battles in her life, which she's spoken about with mental health and with addiction, but her stubbornness, her perseverance, her respect, self-respect, and her value of wanting to fight this fight, which is really what it's about, less so the car, I think, but about that drive.
Okay is 187. Yeah, one of the most distinctive and near universal American colloquialisms, the affirmation okay, appeared in public for the first time March 23rd, 1839. There's been claims that okay derives from languages as diverse as Greek and Choctaw, and that it appeared in earlier American documents, but it was first published in the Boston Morning Post in a story there with a brief definition. OK took off around the country and eventually the world with variants in some 24 different languages.
The threat of a terrorist attack in America is so severe that in an unexpected move, the FCC banned the import and sale of all routers not made in the United States. Here's why and what this means to you. I'm Kim Commander for LinkedIn. For small businesses, every hire matters. Get $100 off your first job post with LinkedIn Hiring Pro at linkedin.com/Kim. Some very popular routers, familiar names like Netgear, Asus, TP-Link, Euro, are now banned in the United States. Now, this doesn't mean it's illegal to use any router you already own, but what it does mean is that our government determined that these foreign-made routers can be used for sabotage by terrorists, listening posts for spying, or kill switches to disable entire networks. Best Buy, Amazon, and the others are still selling a number of these models. But before you buy a new router, make sure it's American-made. And for the one you already have, a password change is a great idea right now. There's a new kind of camera spreading across America. It's listening and mailing you tickets. Get the scoop in my newsletter at getkim.com. For small businesses, every single hire matters. But finding the right person can take time and energy you just don't have. That's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro comes in. It's like having a smart hiring partner that helps you focus on the candidates who are a great fit, so you can hire with confidence. I know firsthand how time-consuming hiring can be. You're running a business, wearing a dozen hats, and you're sorting through countless applications, trying to spot that right person. Posting a job is easy. It's the finding, connecting, and screening applicants that you don't have time for. LinkedIn Hiring Pro handles it all for you, writing the job description, finding top candidates, even conducting AI-powered first interviews. Forget digging through countless resumes. Hire right the first time. Post your first job and get $100 off your job post at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. This is a total game changer. Don't miss out. Post your first job and get $100 off right now at linkedin.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh. Coming up when your next birthday rolls around, don't stress about getting older because I'll share 3 ways where your brain actually improves with age. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Spring fashion has arrived at Macy's stores, and Macy's VIP sale is the best time to save on all of it. Come in and find our best brands like Good American, Tommy Hilfiger, and Calvin Klein, all for 25% off. Plus, beauty and fragrance from Burberry, Prada, and more is now 15% off. Or Star Rewards members can earn Star money even faster on everything else. Only at Macy's VIP sale today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Experts say we should not be worrying about getting older anymore because our brain actually does improve with age. Here's the research. First, the older we get, the happier we get. That's according to the journal Psychology and Aging. It found that our overall life satisfaction tends to dip during our 40s and 50s. Those are the years when we're frantically caring for kids and aging parents. But after our 50s, happiness levels start rising steadily over the remainder of our life. We're also more creative as we grow older. According to the University of Chicago, it's the type of creativity that's rooted in experience and experimentation, and it actually peaks in late middle age. And research from Trinity College found older adults have better focus. When the scientists asked subjects to complete an exercise that required sustained attention, younger people's minds wandered twice as much as older adults. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, we'll look back on a long career in a conversation with Peninsula College Athletic Director Rick Ross, who's retiring, plus a business bit with our business guru, Kevin Holt.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Hi, this is Clallam PUD. If you're always on the go, you'll love our Smart Hub mobile app. You can pay your bill, report outages or other problems, and unlock new ways to save energy through monitoring your usage history, all from your phone. It's more than an app. It's a key to saving time and money. Innovation in your pocket, that's power. Download the app from our website at clallampud.net. Clallam PUD, bringing energy to life.
Your voice, your news. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, AM 1450, FM 101.7 and 101.3, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Democrats have been given Republicans' last and final offer to reopen the government, or the Department of Homeland Security and the government, ending the 41-day shutdown, says Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Airport TSA officers have been calling in sick or quitting because they haven't been getting paid. To Congress.
My simple thing is, we don't want your pity. We just want our paycheck.
That message from two TSA officers, Deron Kelly and his wife, Oksana, at Orlando International Airport.
We had to dip into savings first time. We barely recovered from the first shutdown. We had to dip into savings second time, but our savings are not unlimited.
The FAA is investigating a close call between a United Airlines plane and a military helicopter near John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California, Tuesday. Preliminary data shows the two aircraft were just a quarter-mile apart. The air traffic controller was heard in recordings saying that was not good. Iran's received a 15-point peace plan through a mediator, says the president's special diplomat, Steve Witkoff, at a White House cabinet meeting.
We have strong signs that this is a possibility, and if a deal happens, it will be great for the country of Iran, for the entire region, and the world at large.
At the cabinet meeting, the president on Iran.
They are begging to make a deal, not me.
Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were back in court in New York City today, at which the judge refused to dismiss their case. The Maduros are facing drug trafficking charges and say the U.S. is blocking Venezuela from paying their legal fees. Prosecutors argued that the Maduros still have access to their own money. The International Olympic Committee has banned trans women from women's Olympic events. Committee President Kirsty Coventry.
Male chromosomes give performance advantages in sports that rely on strength, power, or endurance.
You're listening to ABC News.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
TV host Savannah Guthrie revealing new details about her mother's disappearance.
In her first interview since her mom was taken, Savannah Guthrie says a back door of Nancy Guthrie's home was left propped open by whomever took her. She says that she asked her brother if their mother could have been targeted because of Savannah's fame.
I just said, do you think because of me? And he said, I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe.
Alex Stone, ABC News.
Charged with attempted murder of his wife on a hiking trail, a doctor in Hawaii, Gerhard Koenig, accused of jealousy, of trying to push his wife over a cliff and of trying to inject her with something. ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
On Tuesday, Ariel took the stand, describing the moment she says her husband attacked her.
He grabbed me really forcefully by my upper arms
And he said, I'm so sick of this. Get back over there. And he starts pushing me back towards the cliff.
Dr. Koenig's defense claiming Ariel attacked first and that he only hit her with a rock in self-defense.
If convicted, the doc faces possible life in prison. Tourist alert. Italy's culture ministry put a recently purchased devotional painting by early Renaissance artist Antonello da Messina on display in the nation's Senate today. And the culture minister says they plan to buy more art at auctions and from collectors. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Hello, everyone. This is Caitlin from Airport Garden Center. Our new plant deliveries have been bringing us loads of beautiful shrubs, trees, and flowers. We're starting off this season with an exciting lineup of free educational classes. I have Ron here to share with you what's happening.
Thanks, Caitlin. Ever wonder the benefits to organic gardening? We are pleased to welcome Giselle Schoniger from G&B Organics, Saturday, March 28th at 12 p.m. Sunday, March 29th at 12 p.m., guest speaker and rose enthusiast Tamara Allen will present color and composition design with intention. An interactive class on selecting plants for your dream garden.
Thanks, Ron. For more information on our events and to reserve seats, visit www.airportgarden.biz. Hope to see you all there.
Airport Garden Center. They love helping you plan next season by offering monthly special savings. Airport Garden Center. Planting knowledge, growing gardeners since 1977.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate Outstanding Agents. Outstanding results, 457-6600. The race for the 24th District seat now held by Steve Theringer, who's retiring, now starting to take shape. Candidates emerging from both sides of the aisle. Makah tribal member Patrick DePoe this week says he's running, citing his work in tribal policy and rural issues. Earlier, Port Angeles resident Aiden Hamilton said he is entering the race. Official filing is in May. Clallam County Prosecuting Attorney Mark Nichols is running for a fourth term. He says he'll emphasize public safety, prosecution of repeat and violent offenders, and support for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault if reelected.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Slight chance of rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 48. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 36. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. Highs level off around 50. Upper 40s Saturday and Sunday with a chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain Sunday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 47 Monday, 48 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 48.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
And welcome once again to the program. First half of the show today, going to have a little fun. Going to talk with an old friend of mine and actually an old friend of the community's, and that's Rick Ross, who is actually going to be retiring. Although I joked with him, I said, I don't know if we'll ever not, see him fully retired, because if you know Rick, he's not going to stop moving.
Well, thanks for having me, Todd.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Yeah. You've been the athletic director. This has been the latest iteration, but we're going to talk a bit about your career in general. How long have you been the AD up at Peninsula College?
I started in 2002 when Jim Lunt retired.
Okay,
so I've been the AD since then.
You had a bit of a run there, and one of the interesting things for you is you've kind of fostered in a lot of the changes that have happened in athletics there. Certainly as sports came back to the college and then really have expanded somewhat and gotten championship quality as well.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful journey. I hit the jackpot landing at Peninsula College back in '94. And I was part of a group that brought athletics back in '97, and then it's been fun to watch that progress into something we're pretty proud of. Yeah.
One of the things we talked about you being the athletic director, you're also, you've got other jobs up there as well.
Yes,
and a lot of it's engaged with the student government and, kind of student activities as well.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed that. People wondered why I'd done that for so long, but I really enjoy the student government side of things and working with the clubs and the facilities and all that goes along with leadership development. And so that's the other half of my job. People don't know too much about that part, but I've really enjoyed that in my career.
All right. I was up there and had Jim Lunt as my advisor.
Correct.
Back in the
Yeah.
long ago days. So you've seen an old
And
picture
your
or two
photos
up
on
there.
the wall
Yeah,
up there
I
still.
know. It
So,
was
yeah.
a glutton for punishment, but that's okay. But let's go back first to how you've been Port Angeles guy, roots here. And actually, your dad was rooted in journalism as well.
He was.
Did that get you the bug that got you first? Because we know you, those of us who really know you
Yeah.
you from your work in the newspaper and as a reporter, really, in sports.
Right. Yeah, I kind of got that bug in high school, somewhere around my sophomore year.
Okay.
I took some pictures of an event, and I was like, wow, that was really fun. And the pictures turned out okay, and I had a knack for writing for whatever reason. So yeah, I kind of dove in on journalism my junior year in high school and worked at the high school newspaper. And then I learned from the best. Scooter Chapman hired me in 1977, right after I graduated from high school.
That's a phenomenal experience, though,
Yeah.
really. But not really something you had expected. It just
No.
kind of fell in your lap.
It
so
did.
to speak,
It
right?
did. I think as young people in this world, you kind of figure out what you're good at, and if you can get paid to do something you enjoy and that maybe you have a knack for, that's like I said, you hit the jackpot in that world. So I've managed. I didn't stay in journalism my whole career, obviously. Yep. But it is a part of what you do when you're marketing your high school or your college sports program. So. It has been a tool that has been valuable to me as an athletic director and a student life director. So,
And you did a little TV too. You were
Yeah,
on
did
Northland
some
Cable
TV.
News doing
Did.
the sports as well.
We
That was
did.
a kind of a different and new experience for you
yeah,
at
it was.
those days,
And,
right?
oh man, that was so fun. Dennis Bragg was the news anchor for Northland Cable Television right next door here.
Yep.
And I had an opportunity to work for them after I left the Daily News in '91. And then in '94, I found myself with 2 full-time jobs. I landed at the college, and I was still at Northland Cable.
That's true. I forgot about that.
A pretty
right?
busy time in my life, and you could talk to Teddy about that. But it was, man, I was loving it. It was so fun. We had a great time with the TV program.
And in all of this too, you mentioned Teddy. You mentioned you've got a family here. You are, as a whole family, very much engaged. I mean, even your kids are like engaged into things here
Absolutely,
locally. I mean, the Rosses are kind of just imprinted on Port Angeles.
Yeah. It's been wonderful living my whole life in this community. Basically, we moved here when I was in 4th grade, and we left for a short time. But this community's been really good to us, and raising our kids here has been wonderful. And my daughter and son have stayed in the community, so that's been great. We see them all the time, and like I said, being around sports in your whole career is a little bit hard on a family. You're gone nights and weekends when the kids are home. So I have to commend Teddy for how she put up with that for all the years, and but she's been great.
Oh, she's going to extract this now when you're retired, right?
right. Yeah, and my daughter worked concessions at the college when she was in middle school and all those things.
Your daughter was up doing the pirate casino night the other day. When I stopped in, hey Jen, how you doing? It's like, So tell us a bit about that, because you've probably, it's generational now. I mean, if you go back long enough, you've seen kids of kids now sort of come through and have touched you through sports.
Yeah. I'm just now at that age where that's happening. We had some players that played for us. In fact, Kurt Bagby's granddaughter played for us on the very first women's basketball team. She played for her grandpa. And now her child, so Tiffany married Kevin Patrick, who was on the men's team, and their daughter McKenna played for us this year and last year. And we had Antonio Tone and his brother both played for us, and their dad had played for us, Alfonso McNeil. And so we're getting that second generation of student athletes coming through now. So
it's kind of fun in a way.
It's great.
Right?
It's so great. And you get to see their parents, and you haven't seen them in a while, and they have that connection. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is that the students who have been part of our athletic program and hopefully our leadership program have gone on to college, and they've come back and they say, you know, Peninsula was my favorite part of college.
Now, there's a couple of them out there right now at playing at the next level in college quite well.
Yeah, very
Thank you,
well.
right?
Yeah, we've got some Division I players from in basketball and soccer. We had a couple kids play on television last year in the NCAA tournament.
That's crazy to think,
It's
isn't it?
really wild. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So go back to, you know, as you mentioned, you're kind of part of the group that helped bring sports back in.
Yeah.
Maybe talk a bit about that. Granted, that's before you got to this position you're in right now, but you were a big part of, you know, getting sports back on that campus.
Correct.
When I went to Peninsula College, there was no sport. We had intramural stuff, but that was it. There was no intercollegiate
Yeah, they had
stuff.
sports in the 60s and 70s, and then the Hood Canal Bridge sank. I think that was around 1980 or 81, and I think it gave them an excuse to. I think the climate at the college wasn't super pro sports, and so they dropped the sports program, and I was at a Halloween dance with Jim Lunt in about 1995, and we were scheming about bringing sports back.
Yeah.
And then I interviewed Wally Sigmar on NCN and asked him about it, and he was also like had it in mind. So I think these two groups like came together, and the board of trustees was on board, and so we decided to bring back men's and women's basketball in '97.
And a little bit of a struggle the first little bit out of the gate, but it didn't take long to get wheels under things, and then expanded. You got soccer programs now,
Right.
and all of them are very competitive programs.
Yeah. Our soccer program is off the charts. What they do every year.
You
and,
got a guy that just signed pro, right?
Right,
Tell us about
right.
that, because that's kind of some good
yeah,
news.
Max Voigt, our goalkeeper, he was a freshman, and Jake was really hoping to have him for 2 years.
But he's too good.
But he's too good. So he had left Germany, came here, played for us, got better, and had a great year. And there's a program in Germany that just signed him to a contract.
Now, and he's not the only one that this has happened. You've
we've
had others,
we've had
right?
quite a few on the soccer side, on the men's side, that have gone pro. Yeah.
It's what's it? I guess for you, how involved in kind of the recruiting end and things like that for a program like that? Because we're talking about international students here that are coming to play soccer, for example.
Yeah. If we were a car dealership, the coaches are the ones out there selling the car, and I'm the one that closes the deal. So I meet with the parents and talk to them about Peninsula big picture and what their young person might want to study, and I don't meet all of them, but I do try to meet with the athletes and their parents when they visit campus. But really, the coaches are really good at evaluating the players through film and going to see them in person and getting to know their families and figuring out if this is the right fit for them.
Got to be kind of odd. You talk to somebody like in Germany or Australia
Right.
about it. So this little town in the far corner of the United States, how would you like your kid to go there?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that's a good sell. In some ways, it might be a good fit.
Going to a college soccer game at Peninsula is so great because there might be 4 or 5 different languages spoken on the field at any given time, and just the diversity and the opportunity for young athletes to meet people from all over the world and learn about their cultures, and it's just so great. And they all live together at Collegiate Housing International. And so that family dynamic that we have is really a big part of what's made us successful.
Maybe this is added on to that. Why? Yeah. How have you guys made these programs so good, especially on the soccer pitch? I mean, it's like year after year.
Yeah. Once you become pretty talented and you win, talented athletes want to be a part of that. And so it helps our coaches. And they also know they're going to come and play for someone who's full-time on campus, and they're going to take care of them, and they're going to develop their skills, and our coaches do a great job moving our athletes onto the 4-year level. So almost every athlete who comes to Peninsula who wants to play at the 4-year level gets to play at the 4-year level.
Yeah.
And a lot of programs don't have that kind of opportunity.
I was talking with your boss, Susie Ames, a number of weeks ago about the changes that have happened with the eligibility stuff. Is that going to, maybe I should ask you about that. How is that going to affect things like Peninsula College, where the count against your eligibility years now is going to be I think it might be helpful. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we're sure yet. It's fairly new. We just passed a new rule in the NWAC that if you play in fewer than 9 games, for example, in basketball, you don't even use a season of eligibility the first year. And so that's a brand new rule. And so we had some people that didn't play in a lot of games, and now they're back, and we get them for two more years or 1 year, and then they transfer and they get to play 3 years. It's and the whole transfer portal thing has really changed the scope. A lot of the 4-year coaches at the higher level aren't recruiting kids out of high school. They're recruiting from the transfer portal. And so there's a lot of really good players left on the table pretty late in the year that haven't been recruited yet. So we think that over time will make junior college better.
Yeah, I was going to say there could be some cherry players out there that you might be able to pick up. You normally wouldn't have.
Right,
they would have been picked up and probably sat on a bench for a couple of years.
Yeah, but it's ever changing. So you just don't know what it'll look like 4 years from now, even. Yeah.
The NWAC is a tremendous league, actually, conference, I guess I should say, and I don't know, it's huge. Talk a bit about that, because you're playing these athletic, and this stretches 2 whole states. Yeah. Well, 3 states really. You count Idaho into it as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of people might not know this, but Art Farrow, who was the AD at the college, was one of the people who formed the NWAC. It used to be just the Washington Athletic Conference. And so Art Farrow was part of a group that formed the NWAC and added Oregon into the mix, and eventually Idaho and British Columbia. There's a Douglas College
I forgot about
in BC.
That. Yeah, right.
But it's a great organization. They've had great leadership. Dick McLean has been there most of my career, and then Marco Azurdia took over maybe 10 or 12 years ago. Great leadership, great people. They do a great job. We haven't wanted to join the NJCAA, the National Junior College Athletic Association. We've had some invitations to do that, but we kind of like our little Northwest niche, and I think we do a good job putting on tournaments and giving a good experience for the student athletes in our region. And it's really fun. We play all these schools in Oregon, and when we win the NWAC, you're kind of like a regional champion. You don't get to play for a national championship, but that's okay. I think it works really well. Yeah.
And to that means, let's talk about that, because you've won a few of those. And on the basketball court, soccer, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
So be proud of that, right? It's kind of year in, year out, and we down here talk about, okay, well, how far are they going to go this year? It's not if they're going to go somewhere. It's like, how far are they going to go?
Yeah, it's funny. We used to say that when we did our orientation, we would tell the students, we want you to be good students, we want you to be good citizens, and we want you to be competitive. And we changed that, and we said, now we want you to win championships. We just put it right out there at the start of every year and say, that's the expectation here. You're going to, and my job as athletic director behind the scenes is to put the coaches and the athletes in a position where they can win a championship. There's a lot of factors that play into that, injuries and what athletes they're able to recruit every year, and studies and all of those things. But if I do my job right, every team, we only have 4 teams, but it's intentional. But they all 4 have a chance to win the NWAC every year.
They pretty much do. I mean, even a down year, the men's team, for example, men's basketball team, kind of have a down year this year, but they still made it to the tournament.
They did,
right?
And they're going to be great moving forward.
Oh yeah. So
Coach DeMont's going to do a great job with them.
I'm also going to talk a little bit about this, because those teams you got a lot of community presence here, and I know that's intentional as well. You get those athletes out doing things in the community. They're helping, like at Crab Fest, and doing all of these things. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cool for the community to actually not watching someone on a court or on a soccer pitch, be able to talk to a student that's
I think that's a responsibility that we have. We're a partner in our community, and our student athletes know from the get-go that they're going to have some demands on them to serve the community and be and just be a big part of it. We recommend they wear their gear when they're going out and representing us at Safeway and Walmart or wherever they're shopping, and so we have that expectation. We have a spring soccer academy that they have to cut off because there's 200 kids on the field every 2 nights a week. It's crazy.
Amazing.
but our students coach them, and it's and what a great experience those kids have being coached by college athletes, and so it's a two-way street. They're both like learning from each other and benefiting from that. So that is something that we try to promote with our student athletes and our coaches to serve the community.
So I'll lay all that out there because whoever's going to come after Rick Ross has some pretty big shoes to fill, and I mean that in all of the best ways. And I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well,
because you're going to make sure it's fine.
Yeah,
that's how Rick does things.
It's the Boy Scout thing. You leave it better than you found it, and that was my goal. And somebody's going to find a pretty good opportunity to continue the success after I leave, for sure.
So what made you decide that this would be the year that you know what, I'm done?
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting any younger. I'll be 67 next month. And to be honest, my hearing is kind of going, and my short-term memory isn't all it could be. And I feel like the students deserve more than that, especially my student leaders. And so I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing them. And so I'm like, you know what? It's time for a younger face to be in the mix and leading in those departments. And it's also time for Teddy and I to travel a little bit and play some golf. And I have a project. I'm going to write a book. So yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You've had this probably an inkling to do this for a while.
I have, yeah. I've just it's been a fear of mine that I'd get run over by a bus and nobody would know anything about our history. So I really wanted to. I want to write a book. It's not anything that anyone's going to buy or maybe even read, but I want to write a book about the history of pirate athletics and be able to capture the people who launched the program in the 60s and all the sports that we had in the 70s, including baseball and volleyball. Yeah. Some people don't know we even had at Peninsula, tennis, and kind of capture all that and all the people, and then how we brought it back and the success that the coaches have had and all the players that have gone on to Division I and professional, and just get all that in one place from 1961 to 2026 and put it on a shelf, and then it'll be there. So
I think, though, your historian part here has to play a lot into the success you've had, because I think you're a unique candidate to come in here with all of that knowledge and that history of what's going on here and kind of help foster it along.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing that to me anyway. I don't know how important it is to anyone else, but there's people in our community that are still here that played on those teams in the 70s, and I see them out and about all the time, and I just think it'll be great to capture that before it's forgotten.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're going to play some golf. You're going to do a little traveling, but we'll still see Rick Ross around, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll be at the games eating popcorn. And
we were joking before we went on. You can actually be more of a fan. You might yell out at some people once in a while, right? That bad call, man. Bad call. Right. Where you can't do that right now.
For sure.
What has been the best part of all of this journey of yours? And I go all the way back to the start of it, too, including your newspaper days.
It's always been the people, honestly. Yeah. The people at the Daily News that I worked with were so great, and they are. We still have reunions and get together. We had one yesterday. So I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I worked with. Like I said, and Scooter's done some PA announcing for us. He's still doing his thing at 90-something.
I should point out, Scooter called here, by the way, but you were waiting in the lobby. So there's
such a great guy. Done so much for our community, and so many people. And then at the college, all the coaches, the assistant coaches, the people that have worked in my office, all the student leaders and the student athletes. It's always been about the people and trying to. When I was at the Daily News, I wanted to capture their experience and get it into the newspaper. Same thing at Northland Cable Television, and now I'm behind the scenes making sure they have a good experience when they're playing in the games and when they're coaching in the games. So that's been kind of my life goal, is just to be around sports and be around the great people that are in that sports community.
Well, I certainly have known you a long, long time. So I know that if I had a chance to go to work for you, I would, because of just, I know you. But I got to ask you this. I've always wondered, what's your secret sauce? You've got someone like Allison Crumrose, who's been there now forever and is a fixture there and continues to win women's basketball championships. How do you get these great coaches to come in? How are you getting them to kind of, I guess I'll hang around here and keep doing this for a while?
I don't. Yeah, that's a great question. I've always thought I was lucky, but maybe we're we were good at picking the right people, because Allie is fantastic.
And
She's had
she's
a
from
great
here,
career for
and
Peninsula.
yeah, which is crazy to
you know,
think,
Jake Hughes played for us, and we hired him, and he's having a great career as our soccer coach. And Kenyon Anderson's the winningest soccer coach in the NWAC history. He's been around for, I don't know, for 20 years or more. And I think honestly, in any job, if you give people what they need to be successful, and then kind of stay out of their way, I think people thrive in that sort of environment. And so, and I'm a fairly positive spirit. And so I think I'm maybe in that way easy to be around. I'm not super demanding. So my job is to support them and let them do their thing and let them thrive. And they have.
One last note, you kind of also oversaw a lot of facility improvement, too.
Yeah.
I should have asked you about that earlier. That's part of the job, too. I mean, beautiful soccer facility.
Yeah.
And major upgrades to the gymnasium as well.
Yeah, you know, Tom Keegan's responsible for that soccer field.
Yeah.
And I thank my lucky stars every day that happened, because it's really a gem. And the floor, we had some community people come in and help us put a new gym floor down, because that gym was built in 1966. And so we've just, and the students have supported some of our improvements. And so I've been really blessed that the college has been able to do that, because the state doesn't fund athletic facilities.
That's right. Yeah.
So you have to find innovative ways to create facilities that are, and we're not Gonzaga. We don't have those kind of facilities, but we have pretty good facilities for a community college.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. What a career you've had.
Well, thank you.
And I know we'll run into each other as we go. You're not quite done yet,
No,
though.
I'm going until June 20.
Yeah, you got a few more months left to kick you around a little bit. So, but congrats. And hats off to you and Teddy and everybody. And hope you have just a wonderful retirement. And a big thank you for all you've done for the sports community here. I think we would not be where we're at in a lot of ways if Rick Ross hadn't have I guess got that journalism bug as a junior in high school, right?
Very kind of you, Todd. Thank you.
All right. Rick Ross, he's the athletic director at Peninsula College for a couple more months, but he's going to be retiring, and I'll be looking for the book. How long do you think it's going to take?
I don't know. Probably a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Okay.
You say no one's going to buy it, I will. All right. Rick Ross there coming in to talk a bit about his time as a huge career and doing all sorts of things with athletics here at Peninsula College and beyond. We're going to take a break. Be back with more in just a moment.
At Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel, Mark Gustafson is precisely the professional you want helping your family during a time of loss.
Every morning when I get out of bed, I have one more opportunity to help a family in need that is grieving, that may be in a cloud, may not know what to do, where to go, who to talk to. And I'm here to help them through that and to be here every day for them.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Friendship and experience can be a real comfort.
When a loved one loses someone, it's a journey that they're going through. It's new territory, so to speak, and I'm able to be there to help them. And again, being hometown, I'm there with them all the way through it from start to finish.
Caring professionals when you need them most. Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel, 452-9701, and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel, 683-5242.
What's really in your water? At Pure Water Northwest, we believe the answer should come from science, not a sales pitch. Hi, this is Sidian Kaufman, owner of Pure Water Northwest. Call us for a free in-home water test to tell you exactly what is in your water and how you can get better than bottled water right from your tap. From whole home filtration and water softening to 5-stage reverse osmosis systems, we are the only licensed water treatment company in Western Washington. So we can help you with all your plumbing needs as well.
Visit purewaternorthwest.com or call 360-908-8947 for a free in-home water test. Pure Water Northwest designs the right solution to remove forever chemicals, arsenic, iron, rust, even microplastic. Contact Pure Water Northwest and get better than bottled water right out of your tap. Call 360-908-8947 or purewaternorthwest.com. Pure Water Northwest, just pure water.
Hi, this is John Hull. I'm president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Looking for something fun and fascinating for the whole family? Don't miss the Clallam County Gem and Mineral Association Rock, Gem, and Jewelry Show this weekend at the Vern Burton Community Center in PA. Explore new and returning vendors, Kids Rock Alley, and enjoy live lapidary demonstrations throughout the show, Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4. Admission is free. Visit squimrocks.org for more information.
All right, again, thanks to Rick Ross there, coming in to talk a little bit about his career in journalism and also as the athletic director at Peninsula College. Lots of history there, and congratulations to him on his impending retirement. We're going to take another quick break, get caught up on the news, and we'll be back with our weekly business bits. Speaking of schools and stuff, Kevin Holt's going to talk about summer jobs for some local students. That's all coming up right after this break.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
Thank you, Todd. There's certainly a lot going on in the real estate market, and some of it might surprise you.
Home prices have been rising nationwide for more than a decade. This is called a seller's market. But currently, the market is cooling off. What does that mean? It means less panic buying, less home sales falling apart. It means more time and room for negotiating. It means less liability for sellers when buyers aren't rushed. It means real estate services like home staging become essential. It means top quality professional photos and cinematic video are not optional, they are a must. Market conditions are shaped by multiple factors. Let's see what the spring market has in store. If you want more information, call me, May Graves, Real Estate Market Pros, 360-461-1922.
Do you find sometimes there's more month left than money? Hi, this is Clallam PUD introducing our new prepaid meter program called SmartPay. With SmartPay, you take charge. It works just like a prepaid phone or coffee card. Pay what you can, when you can, 24/7 using your computer or smartphone. No deposits, no late fees, no billing statements. You'll get notifications when your balance is running low so you can add more funds. To find out more, visit www.clallampud.net. Clallam County PUD, bringing energy to life.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A last and final offer has been given to Democrats by Republicans to reopen the Department of Homeland Security and end the 41-day government shutdown, says Senate Majority Leader John Thune. TSA officers have been calling in sick or quitting because they haven't been getting paid.
I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open for anything better to provide for my family. So if anything pops up, I'm definitely going to have to more than likely take it at this particular moment.
Deron Kelly and his wife, Oksana, TSA officers at Orlando International Airport. The FAA investigating a close call between a United Airlines plane and a military helicopter near John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California, Tuesday. President Trump, in a social media post, says he'll delay the deadline for Iran to make a deal or face the destruction of its power plants by 10 days. This after the U.S. sent Iran a 15-point peace plan through a mediator, says the president's special diplomat, Steve Witkoff. This is ABC News.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Slight chance of rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 48. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 36. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. Highs level off around 50. Upper 40s Saturday and Sunday, with a chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain Sunday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 47 Monday, 48 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 48.
right, last segment on a Thursday, and that means it's time for our business bits. And our business guru himself, Kevin Holt, joins us. And today we're going to talk about summer jobs. We're getting down to where school will be out pretty soon.
It's
time for the kids to go get a job this summer, but maybe not. And that's kind of the gist of today's topic. So, Kevin, good to have you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and what a beautiful day. I appreciate the city for putting its best weather on for my radio shift. This is a great day. It was a little chilly this morning, but we're looking good today. Well, you know, our school district recently sent out a mailing telling us there's about 1,200 high school students here. Even if 1/4 of those students wanted summer jobs, I'm not sure our local economy could absorb 300 new summer workers. We have that chicken or the egg problem. We don't have work and we don't have people, and then when people want work, we don't know what to do. Summer jobs for youth are getting harder to find. Todd and I were just talking about the things we did back when we rode dinosaurs to work in the summertime. But these days, you're competing with out-of-work adults. You're competing with the exorbitantly high minimum wage. You're competing with the different labor laws that are just making employers very risk-averse. So our teens are facing the same economic pressures the rest of us are looking at, though. Their prices are going up. Their opportunities are going down. So wouldn't it be great if youth could find other ways to earn money this summer? You know, many are too young for formal gig work because those gig companies need applicants to be over 18 so they can sign those binding contracts that result in them not getting paid anything.
Yeah, right.
So how else can our youth make money this summer? I posed that question to Copilot, the artificial intelligence engine available through Microsoft's Edge browser. I figured, why not ask somebody who can scan the world and tell us what's going on around the world and how people are coping with this problem. So Copilot recommended we go forward in 3 steps. Step 1, Copilot calls the Metascan, the automated demand detection. Now, this is very handy because it kind of takes the place of going to meetings and hearing people's reports. You can scan all of the high-level searches of social media, news stories, and online community conversations in our community. So that's a very handy starting point. And this scan studies 5 signal types and returns opportunity hotspots. So the first signal is a complaint signal. What do people complain about in our town? Well, you know, everything, but
yeah,
as it relates
put
to
this
labor.
into something else, right?
Yeah. What do small businesses struggle with? What do parents, seniors, and workers say is falling short for them? Delay signals is the second kind. Where do people wait? What services are slow, understaffed, or inconsistent? How about workarounds? What are people hacking together because no one's offering a clean solution? And then my favorite guilty pleasure, abandoned tasks. What do people intend to do but never get around to? And then, interesting term here, but number 5, micro desires. What would make life just a little easier for a specific group? So this comes from scanning basically all the Facebooks that are related to Port Angeles, Reddit conversations about Port Angeles. Just, you know, it would take you a number of hours to sit through and pawl through all this, and AI does it in seconds, literally. So the Metascan produces a structured output. We get the top potential hotspots. It searches for patterns across demographics, for seniors, parents, small businesses, things like we just mentioned. It looks for emerging themes, like is it tech help, is it errands, is it administrative support, home tasks? And then it looks for signals worth investigating. And then it says, well, now I'm going to summarize this, and here's very specifically who and what is coming up with all of this scanning. Right. Yeah. So the first one, no surprise, seniors need help with technology. And it's not just their phone. More and more, we're all getting, the tech term is disintermediated. We're getting pushed away from personal help and into the website, the texting.
Yeah, go fill the portal out.
Yes,
go in here, do this thing. And okay.
Yeah. And my dear mother was 95 when she passed away, but the last 4 or 5 years of her life, thank heavens, my younger brother lived right next door, and he could go over and help her with this, but it was just a nightmare of getting things from Medicare saying, oh, you need to go here and fill this out, but first you need a password, then you need two-character or two-step authentication.
Authentication.
Yeah, and then you need this, and then your password has to be like this. And for a person who was born in 1929, that just gets a little baffling, especially when it's not part of your everyday life. I mean, dear woman's been retired since 1991.
And I've seen, and what'll happen, they'll just shut down.
They do. They just don't.
I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
And that's not a good thing.
No.
Like when it's Medicare or something like that.
That's right. Well, and your bank is doing that to you.
Yep.
If you want to review your credit report, well, you go start an account at and Equifax and TransUnion and all those places. And that's 3 passwords, 2-factor identification. It's just crazy. And so these customers are going to be very grateful. They're going to be very patient. They're going to be very relieved when someone helps you. And they're going to tell everybody about it. So you'll probably get some follow-up calls. Parents, they need micro errands. Summer is busy, and parents need grocery pickups and package drop-offs. You know, you could probably hop on your bike and take 90% of the Amazon packages that need to be taken down to Swain's.
Good point.
Just
That's a
pedaling
great
it down
idea,
the road.
actually,
Yeah.
right?
How many of us get Amazon regret, got to pack it back up, go down to the store? But if you could call some young person and say, hey, whip this down to Swain's, you know, here's $10. Thank you. So parents need that real bad. You know, small businesses need help, too. They need updating their online information. They need cleaning and organizing their shelves, maybe taking some pictures around the place, running little errands. They're not going to post that job. But if you knocked on their door, maybe brought a little one-pager that says, hey, this is who I am and what I know how to do, and why don't you put me on call? Put me on the payroll, and when something comes up, I'm right around the corner. Give me a call. I'll be down here to help you out.
Pop in and help out.
Yeah. You see, when the economy is this challenging and our labor laws are changing this fast, people, just like we talked about with the seniors, the businesses freeze. And they don't know how to handle all this stuff. If you come in with the solution, they'll go, oh, you'll be there, and I can call you. We can work with that.
You know, on your notes here, I should point out, you put some here's a great one. You said, why this matters. Small businesses love reliable teams.
They like them better than anybody.
Right,
That's exactly right.
And the one before that, parents trust local teams more than strangers online.
Well said.
So,
absolutely.
Because you could get a service,
Oh,
go
sure.
online, not know who it is that's
No.
going to pick up the package and do the drop-off for you.
That's right. You probably know their parents. So,
Good point.
So it's the
So
good
there's
old,
that.
Yeah, take
You know
advantage
what?
of your Port Angeles connections.
Kind of like networking.
Oh, no, don't say that word.
All right, continue.
Absolutely. So the other aspect is those home tasks that get abandoned, the ones that I've got 2 people working on at my house right now for pay. Yard cleanup, garage sorting. You know, I need somebody to come over and take all my summer furniture out from behind the driveway salt and the snow shovel and all the stuff I shoved up in front of that when I was trying to deal with the bad weather. That can be very helpful. Dump runs if you drive, or weeding. Lord heavens. And, you know, people like to take trips this time of year, but what about the pet? So stopping by,
out, right?
feed the pet, take the dog for a walk, clean the cat box. Nobody likes to do that, but if you're getting paid, that's life. And these little jobs are just perfect for those short bursts of energy teams seem to have. So, and the last one a lot of people don't think of, but service clubs, artists, and makers groups. You know, they need product photos. They need simple websites. They need e-commerce setup. They all need event help. And teens are often better at this than adults.
Yeah. I can tell you they are.
Yeah.
They can probably whip together half of these. You know, it would take me 3 days. They'll do it in a half hour.
And they've got time and energy. I'm a ham radio operator and a member of the Ham Radio Club here and our poor website, our poor Facebook group. This all needs work. And a young person...
Go find a team, maybe.
All our pictures are of people's backs working on the radios.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the nature of that business.
We could do a lot better.
Yeah.
And then just before we take a break, the final thing that AI looked at was something I call return on effort. In other words, how long does it take you to get your first dollar? What's the complexity you need to go through to set up to get this done? How many steps before you can deliver value? Ongoing effort, what kind of a commitment does it take on a weekly basis? Leverage, does each hour produce more than 1 hour of value? And replaceability, it's not really the right term there, but are you competing with a lot of other people, or are you kind of the only game in town? And you're probably going to find you're about the only game in town when this comes up.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the very specifics after Todd gives you some very important information.
All right, back with more with our business bits and Kevin Holt, our business guru, right after this.
Is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Hi, this is Andy McGill, Executive Director at Dungeness Court. Have you wondered where I've been the last couple years? Well, I'm happy to say I've found a wonderful family right here at Dungeness Court, pursuing my passion for assisted living and memory care. If you haven't visited Dungeness Court in a while, we are having an open house Friday, March 27th. It's the perfect time to see our fresh new look, enjoy refreshments, have a free tour, and win one of our great door prizes. This is our personal invite to join us and meet our team. We are the only locally owned assisted living in the area with nurses on site 24/7, plus day stay, respite care solutions, and personalized memory care. We'd love to see you at our open house Friday, March 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. Dungeness Court. We're located on the corner of 5th Avenue and Hendrickson in Sequim.
Join Dungeness Court for an open house celebration Friday, March 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. just off Hendrickson Road in Sequim. Dungeness Court Memory Care. Loving care when you need it most.
Bathfitter is celebrating over 42,000 installations in Western Washington. That's 42,000 bathrooms made safer, cleaner, and more stylish. And for a limited time, we're doubling our tax season offer, giving up to $1,000 off your dream bath. Custom-fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, with complete removal of your old setup. Every installation backed by a lifetime warranty. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. Hurry, this offer won't last.
Looking for the next place to call home? Come to our Lavender Meadows in Sequim. Beautiful, affordable homes for active 55-plus adults. Our modern, low-maintenance homes give you more time to enjoy life. More than a home, you'll enjoy community, active lifestyle, value, and security. We're confident you'll appreciate the modern amenities too. Come to our Lavender Meadows in Sequim or online at lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Come see Price Ford when shopping for your next vehicle. We have the new Ford Maverick and Ranger, along with the highly capable compact crossover Ford Bronco Sport. Looking for pre-owned? We have the largest selection in the area. Let us help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit Price Ford next to Walmart in Port Angeles or priceford.com and become part of the Price family.
Fair weather turns our thoughts to outdoor projects. Hi, this is Clallam PUD, and we want you to be safe so you can enjoy the results of your hard work. It's easy. Call 811 2 business days before any work involving digging so underground utilities can be properly located and marked. Visit clallampud.net for more safety tips about outdoor projects and more. Clallam County PUD, bringing energy to life.
All right, go get a summer job if you're a teen out there, or maybe not, because there may not be one that you think it is because of the pressures on the economy. And boy, yeah, when you're business and you're having to pay somebody $20 an hour as a minimum wage,
just to be there,
it's tough. I mean, it's not the businesses don't want to hire kids,
but it's the money. It's the money.
So, okay, so when we went to the break, results. So we did the setup on the
We
look.
did. We had AI do a scan of everybody's complaints. It filtered that through a return on effort analysis, and here's what it tells us very specifically. So yes, there is a huge market here for that senior tech and administrative friction. Many people have moved here to retire, and they've lost their family support network. You know, my little brother lived right next door to where my mother lived for assisted living, and he'd walk over and help her, but that doesn't happen everywhere. That was intentional. So they need help to get their phones and their tablets and their email. They need to fill out those online forms for Apple Health and Social Security. I mean, with Social Security, you can't get anything in the mail anymore. It's all online, including your ID. Many of us have to work with telehealth portals, the dreaded portals, appointment scheduling, and of course, we all have to reset our passwords every 6 months. And for people who aren't literate in that, it can be a nightmare. And there's a lot of talk, Kim Commando brings it up, that there's millions of photos that are going to get damaged and lost forever if they're not scanned in. And young people can help folks get their documents and photos scanned and kept safe so that if anything happens, they've got backup. So it's a microservice that handles digital life maintenance.
I loved that when I read that. That's the best name of my business.
Yeah.
If I'm pitching myself, it's Todd Ortloff.
I'm here
I
for
provide digital life maintenance.
That's right. I'm here to work on your digital life maintenance today. And we'll talk at the end here about how to get paid, but that's coming up quick. Small businesses, well, they've got that administrative backlog, so they need invoicing help, scheduling help, basic bookkeeping, content updates on their website, customer follow-up, pictures of their inventory. Now, this is a little bit upscale. Generally, what you'd want to do is find a couple of businesses you'd like to work for and then walk in and make a presentation, because they're probably not going to post a job. But if you walk in and say, hey, I can do these things for you, and I'll just, if you're 16, you can work for somewhat less than the inflated state minimum wage. So you get a little opportunity there to kind of leverage your money. So micro help for small businesses could be something you could work to yourself. We have a lot of nonprofits here. And once the state of Washington changed the law to require higher pay to be exempt from overtime, a lot of them cut back. And so they need help with a lot of clerical stuff. If you're a person who's really into paperwork and data and computer services and things like that, you could really help these nonprofits organize themselves, communicate with their donors, get ready to submit grant applications, coordinate volunteers. That in alone itself, after my mother retired, she coordinated volunteers for the Children's Hospital Thrift Shop for 21 years. And it was a full-time job, I'll tell you. So grant-ready support for services and organizations can really provide a service and get some pay for that. Then there's home task abandonment. We have older homes here. They need little repairs. We're not talking about contractor stuff, just pulling those branches out of the window screen and changing the light bulb in the front porch, picking up that stuff that blew all over the yard after the wind came on garbage day. Again, dump runs if you drive, seasonal changes, furniture moving. Let's get that stuff out from under the plastic sheets and put it back out on the patio. Those prep services for homeowners and seniors, very traditional teenage job.
Yep.
And then there's errand gaps. Again, we don't have a lot of transit. We've got mobility issues, and people need those grocery pickups, prescription runs. You know, back in the 50s, kids used to make money picking up prescriptions on their bicycles. It was very common. In fact, you can see it on television shows like Leave It to Beaver. There's appointment accompaniment. You know, there is an official position in hospitals, but if you're just going to a clinic, you don't get this. And that's someone to sit with you, listen to what the doctor, the nurse practitioner, or the physician's assistant tells you, takes notes, and then reviews it with the person. My sister-in-law did this for my mother. Really helps because the medical professionals are in a terrible time crunch. And then they don't have time to work on all of this. And then there's that digital presence where you can help with photos and websites and e-commerce setup and things of that nature. So very quickly, just before we wrap up today, how do you get paid?
Yes.
Well, you know, you can ask for an hourly wage. That's very common. But people find it more attractive if you work with a flat rate. If you say, hey, I'll do that for $20. I'll move your patio furniture for $10. I'll take care of that mess from garbage day for $25. That's very easy for people to manage. It's called transfer of risk. You take the risk that it might or might not be an hour. Your client doesn't have to worry about it. And they'll often pay you a tip. And then there's a pay whatever feels fair. You know, if you're working with friends and family that know you well, just say, you know what, I'm going to do it, and you pay me what you think it's worth. And generally, you'll be surprised at their generosity. There's also the summer starter price, where, again, $20 and I'll do anything small. You tell me what it is. Or a time block. I'll sell my hours for $25 each, and just you can have whatever you want done in that hour. We'll just go over it, and then I'll do it, and you'll pay me, and we're done. Or the suggested donation. You know, how about $20 or $30, and I'll take care of this for you.
Okay.
Yeah. All of this is around giving the client a little bit more control over how much things cost. So, you know, some listeners might say, duh, we know that, but it's not the listeners who need to know this. It's the youth looking for opportunities. So share this. And these opportunities, well known or not, were suggested specifically because of high pain signals in the community. And these opportunities were selected for high return on effort. So, you know, this isn't just an economic opportunity. There's great character building, some personal networking, and some great college application extracurriculars. They'll arise from the application of the information in this report.
These are great ideas, actually.
Well, you know, me and AI, we do pretty good together.
I might steal a few of those. During the last break, I said I might do a couple
That's
of these on
right.
my spare time.
Who
but-
doesn't need a little extra spending
right.
money?
Anyway, all right, next time,
Well,
back
you know,
to tourists.
am I going to talk about tourists again? Bring on the hate mail. Let's get ready.
Okay. And you can deliver the hate mail at his website.
That's right.
That's right. Kevin Holt, KevinYourBusinessCoach.com is where Kevin Holt resides in the digital
I
online
do.
world, and he posts up his notes there on all of these shows and everything else. And he does welcome your ideas
I
or
do.
questions about things too, and you can get a hold of him there as well. Great to see you again, Kevin.
Thank you.
We'll do it again next week. We're
Looking
going to check
forward
in
to
with
it.
the news coming up next.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
It's time for Your Port of PA Today. A look inside the port and share what's in it for you.
I'm Port Commissioner Connie Bove. The Port of Port Angeles is excited to bring you a look inside your port, the wide-ranging companies operating in our facilities, and share exciting upcoming projects designed to develop and upgrade infrastructure to attract even more business and jobs to our area. Did you know over 50 companies are on port property, totaling over 1,000 jobs? The Port of PA stretches well beyond the Port Angeles Harbor. The port owns and operates 2 airports, William R. Fairchild International and the CQ Airport, providing convenient and essential access to some of the more remote areas of the peninsula. We'll continue to bring you insights from the Port of PA on future segments. Email hello@portofpa.com or keep up to date on Facebook.
This has been Your Port of PA Today. Explore portofpa.com.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
First Fed highlights those in our community doing great things, and we encourage you to help the Port Angeles Food Bank with their annual Community Tuna Protein Drive, on now through March 31st. Donate cans of tuna and other healthy protein products today at Mount Pleasant IGS, Grocery Outlet, Country Air, both Port Angeles Safeway locations, the Port Angeles Senior Center, or at the PA Food Bank directly. You can make a monetary donation by texting Tuna Drive to 44321. That's Tuna Drive to the number 44321. Your donation will help support nearly 4,000 monthly clients served by the local food bank, including more than 450 weekly Student Friday food bag recipients. Nobody should go hungry, and First Fed encourages you to support the annual Community Tuna Protein Drive.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
The North Peninsula's news, the North Peninsula's talk. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. President Trump late this afternoon announced on social media that he'll extend his deadline, giving Iran 10 more days to accept a peace deal amid a U.S. threat to bomb its power plants. The president at a White House cabinet meeting saying of Iran,
"They are begging to make a deal, not me."
Also at that cabinet meeting, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff talked about the 15-point peace proposal. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
Witkoff did confirm that that plan had been transferred via Pakistan, who he said is acting as a mediator right now in indirect talks, and that the Iranians have this proposal from the administration, which he described as a framework for a peace deal. Witkoff did not get into the specifics of what is included in this 15-point plan, but we had heard from sources that it addressed Iran's ballistic missile program.